this is Anu and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you join me today for yet another new tutorial on my channel. And today the tutorial is this beautiful sweater here. It's a cable stitch sweater that you could make either cropped up or hitting your hips. The way I made it for me is just hitting my hips because I do not like to show my belly. That time has passed for me, but it's really easy to change the height, making it shorter or making it longer. It is, I think, the last one on my cable series for this year, at least for the winter and cold weather series. There probably will be more cables in the spring and the summer. And by the way, I cannot wait for spring. I have so many ideas for crochet tutorials for the spring. If you have ideas that you would like me to create for you, don't hesitate to put it in the comment box down below. I would love to know what you want me to create in the spring. So this crochet sweater is beautiful in its classiness. Classiness, is that even a word? But it's simple, it's understated, the yarn is beautiful. I hope you can still find it in the stores because I bought it in clearance. It was so cheap. I love it and I love the texture of it. It was easy to crochet with. I will put the info about this yarn, of course, in the info box down below, and I will also put yarn substitutions ideas in the info box down below for you in case you cannot find the yarn because you're in another country or it's not available anymore, because it seems to happen a lot lately. And as usual, I will take you through the tutorial slowly but surely, step by step. By now, if you have been following me and if you have been doing some of my tutorial, you should feel pretty good about the cable stitch. But if you do not, go back to my cable stitch pillow cover tutorial, because there I go really slowly over the cable stitch. I explain to you in slow motion. I also want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all the support for my new crochet book. I posted a video last week about my new book that just came out, and you guys are amazing. You warmed my heart. I loved all your comments. Wow, that was amazing. And to thank you for your support, I wanted to give my book to two of you guys today, and I would like to do a book giveaway. And to participate in this giveaway, it's super simple. The only thing you need to do is be subscribed to my channel and leave a comment down below here. That is it. I will randomly choose two of you by the end of the month. So by the end of February, I will let you know in the first video of March. I will let you know who is the winner. So super simple, guys. Just leave a comment, be subscribed, and then I will randomly choose somebody and you will get a copy of my new book. What do you think? Good? And of course, this giveaway is international as well, so you can leave a comment from wherever you are in the world. Sending kisses to the world, by the way. If you are not subscribed to my crochet family, don't hesitate to do so. I would love to have you with us. It is totally free. You click the subscribe button, and then if you like my tutorial and you want to be notified every time I post something new, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button, and then you will be notified every time I post something new. That easy. Also, come and visit me on my social media. I will put all the addresses right there. Would love to have you there too. So if you are interested in knowing how to create this beautiful cable stitch sweater, then keep on watching, and in the meantime, bye, happy crochet. For this tutorial, you will need 6 skeins of the loops and thread yarn called Madrid in color Bonsai. If it is not available anymore because it was in clearance, I will put in the description box down below substitution yarn that you could use for this project. You will also need a crochet hook 6 millimeters, some scissors, and a tapestry needle. Take your yarn and your crochet hook and make a slip knot. And I will show you a way to make chains and to make a chain circle without twisting it. It's a little trick. In total, you are going to chain 112, but chain 7 and drop your crochet hook. Pick up the first chain you had made, making sure not to twist your chain. put back your crochet hook in the chain loop you are creating, and then continue to make your chains. So make 112 chains in total. And once you are done making your 112 chains up, you're going to pass your crochet hook through the first little loop you had on your crochet hook from the beginning, and voila, you just created a chain without twisting it, because we will be crocheting in the round. Once you have created your little circle, you are going to chain one, and you are going to make a double crochet in the first chain of your work. Here, let me zoom in, and then a double crochet in the next chain, and in the next, and that is what you are going to do for your first round. You're going to make a double crochet in each and every chain. So at the end of your first round, you will still have 112 stitches. This is what your first round will look like. Double check that your chain is not twisted, but it shouldn't be with the trick I gave you at the beginning. And at the end of your first round, make a double crochet in the last stitch. And then slip stitch with the first double crochet you had made. We are creating the little bottom ribbed edge of your sweater. So what we're going to do to create that is make a front post double crochet round. No panicking, it's really easy. Let me explain it to you slowly. You're going to work around the post, so around the double crochet you just created in the first row. And what you're going to do is yarn over your crochet hook and then go from the front to the back around the post from the previous round. Then yarn over your crochet hook and right back behind that post. So you have 3 loops on your crochet hook right now. Then you're going to yarn over through 2 of the loops on your crochet hook. You will have 2 left. Yarn over again through the 2 loops left on your crochet hook, and you just created, just like that, a front post double crochet. This is not hard, right? Yarn over around the next post, yarn over and back, 3 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through the 2 left ones on your crochet hook. And this is the second front post double crochet created. That is what you are going to do for round 2 and round 3. You're going to repeat, making a round of front post double crochet. And this is what your work will look like. Here we are at the end of your second round. So you end your second round with your last front post double crochet, and you slip stitch with the first one you just made. And then for your third round, again a round of front post double crochet, going around the post from the previous round, all around and around until you meet the last stitch. And this is what your work will look like at the end of your third round. Slip stitch with the first one you had made, chain 1. Now for your fourth round, you are going to make a round of single crochet all around, but during that round I would like you to add 10 stitches to end up with 122 stitches at the end of your first round. So equally distant, so we had 112 stitches, so I would say every 12th stitch, in that 12th stitch you will make 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and that is the way you increase. And I will meet you at the end of your fourth round, where you will grab a stitch marker and place it so you can know where your round begins and ends. Alright, now for your row 5, it will be the first row when you prepare for your cable stitch. And the way you're going to do that is making 2 single crochets, and then in the next 6 stitches you are going to make a double crochet. So 1 double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, and that will be the base for your cable pattern. And then you are going to make 2 single crochets again. And then a double crochet in the next 6 stitches. And that is what you are going to repeat all around your 5th row. 2 single crochets, 6 double crochets, 2 single crochets, 6 double crochet. And you're going to end your row with 2 single crochet. This is what your 5th row will look like. This is the last double crochet. You can move your stitch marker from one row to the next, showing you where to begin and where to end. And you're going to end your row with 2 single crochets. And now we are going to make the 6th row, which is really the first row of the beginning of your cable pattern. Are you ready? Let's do this. Now again, I will try my best to go slowly over the cable stitch, but if you need more help with it, I will link down below the tutorial where I go really slowly. It's my cable stitch pillowcase tutorial, and just go and click on the link down below if you need more help, and if you need me to go slower over that cable stitch pattern, that is where it is at. Alright, so for your 6th row you're going to make 2 single crochets in the first 2 stitches, and then you are going to skip 2 double crochets, and you're going to make a front post treble in the 3rd and in the 4th. The way you make a front post treble is you yarn over twice, and then you go from front to back around the post from the previous round, yarn over and back behind the post. You will have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on your crochet hook. Now you're going to yarn over and through 2 loops on your crochet hook. You will have 3 more. Yarn over through 2 of the loops on your crochet hook, you will have 2 more, and yarn over and through 2 of the last loops on your crochet hook, and you just created a front post treble crochet. And you're going to repeat that around the next post, double crochet number 4 from the previous round, and you're going to yarn over twice, go front to back behind the post from the previous round, yarn over and back behind the post, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops again, and yarn over through the last 2 loops on your crochet hook. And you just created 2 front post treble crochets. Now we are going to go back to the first 2 posts that you skipped from the previous round, the number 1 and the number 2. But what that is important for this round, for round 6, is to go and work behind the 2 front post treble you had just made. So push the 2 front post treble you had made to the front. You're going to go behind them and find the first post you had skipped. And in that first post you had skipped, you're going to make a front post treble crochet, but coming from behind. And that is really important, guys. And then repeat that in the second post you had skipped, still working behind the number 3 and number 4 front post treble crochet you had made. So you're really creating the twisting part of your braid, which is really cool because to make cables and braids in knitting you need an extra needle. So you have your 2 knitting needles plus that extra cable needle to twist, but not in crochet. You just used your crochet hook. I think it's really, really cool. And then in the next 2, the number 5 and number 6 double crochet from the previous round, you're going to make a front post double crochet. So that's exactly the same as we had done for the rib edge at the bottom. So you yarn over, you go behind from front to back behind the post, yarn over right back, yarn over through 2 of the loops, and yarn over through the 2 last loops on your crochet hook. And repeat in the double crochet number 6 from the previous round, and you are done with your braid. And then you are going to make a single crochet in the next 2 stitches, in the next 2 single crochets from the previous round, 1 and 2. There you go. And then you're going to repeat recreating your second braid. So skipping the 2 first double crochets, making a front post treble in number 3 and number 4. Pushing those 2 front post trebles to the front, and from the back find the number 1 and number 2 double crochet you had skipped from the previous round and make a front post treble crochet in each of them. There you go. And then make a front post double crochet in number 5 and number 6 of the double crochets you had skipped from the previous round. And then again a single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and this is what you are going to repeat all around your 6th round. And again, if you need to go slower for those cables, I will put the link down below to my cable stitch pillowcase where I go really slowly over it. Alright, this is what your work will look like at the end of your round 6. And now for your round 7, you're going to make a single crochet in the 2 first stitches. And now for this cable pattern, every odd row that you're going to crochet is going to be a row of single crochet all around over each and every stitch you had made during your previous round, during the round 6. So on top of each of the front post treble from the previous round, and on top of the 2 single crochets in between, on top of the 6 stitches from the cable, and then on top of the 2 single crochets in between the cables. And that's all around your 7th round. And I will meet you at the end of your 7th round. And for your 8th round, again, begin with 2 single crochets. And now for the second part of your cable pattern. So we had round number 6, which was the first part of your cable pattern. Then you had 7, round 7 was a single crochet all around, and now round 8 is the second part of that cable pattern. And what you're going to do for that second part is you are going to not skip the first post like we did on round 6. You are going to make a front post double crochet around the first post from round 6. Alright, so yarn over and around the post from front to back, yarn over and back, and then yarn over through 2 of the loops and yarn over through 2 of the last loops, and repeat in the next post, front post double crochet again. And then what you are going to do is skip the 2 middle stitches, the 2 middle posts that are going diagonally to the left, if you see it. You're skipping those 2 ones, 1 and 2, and you go to the 2 last posts, and you're going to make a front post treble crochet in the stitch number 5 around the post from round 6. And here you go. The first front post treble crochet made, and then in the 6th post again another front post treble crochet. So you worked on the 2 first posts and the 2 last posts of your 6th posts. Now you have the 2 middle ones that we just skipped, and that's what you're going to work on, but not from the back like on round 6. You're going to do it from the front, so yarn over twice, go to the post number 3 that we had skipped, front to back around the post, and do your front post treble crochet. and then you're going to repeat on the post number 4 that you had skipped, and again you're going to make a front post treble crochet right around that 4th post from round 6. And remember, you are on round 8. And voila! And this is the way you do the second part of your cable pattern. Can you see how it's creating that little braid? That is exactly what you want. And then in the next 2 single crochets from the previous round, you're going to repeat and make a single crochet in each of them. And then you're going to repeat exactly the same thing on the next braid and the next cable. A front post double crochet in the first post and a front post double crochet in the second post. Skip the 2 middle posts for now. Go to the 5 and 6. Post treble crochet in around the 5, the 5th one. Front post treble crochet around the 6th one. And coming from the front of the 2 front post treble crochet you just made, going back to number 3 and number 4, front post treble crochet around each of them, beginning with number 3. And then going to number 4. And you're going to continue in this pattern. 2 single crochets and your braid, 2 single crochets and your braid all around your 8th round, and I will meet you at the end of your 8th round. Alright, we are at the end of your 8th round. This is what your work will look like from the front and from the back. How pretty! I love this yarn, I love the color. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, so we are at the end of round 8. You're going to finish your round 8 by making 2 single crochet, of course. And for round 9, since it is an odd number round, you're going to pick up single crochets all around your 9th round. And I will meet you at the end of your 9th round. And you are going to repeat round 6, 7, 8 and 9 over and over and over again until you reach the number of rounds you need for your sweater to begin working on your armholes. To make it really a crop top, you will need less rounds than me. I wanted my sweater to hit my hips, but if you want to hit it a little closer to your belly button, then you will need less rounds than me before you begin your armhole opening. But for me, I did 45 rounds, ending with a round of single crochet all around. So I will meet you at the end of round 45. Alright, so now you are at your round 46. You're going to make a 1 single crochet, and in the second single crochet from your round 46, you're going to place a stitch marker in that second single crochet from the beginning of round 46. And then you're going to continue in pattern making your cable. In my case, it is the round 8 part of my cable pattern. That means that I begin by making a front post double crochet in the first 2 posts from my previous cable, from my previous round. Just making the cable the way we used to, the way we're used to by now. This yarn is really nice to work with. It's soft but not too soft. I love it. And I love the colors too. Alright, so make your 2 single crochets and your braids and your cable. So now we are creating the armhole opening. And the way you're going to do that is you are going to work on 6 cable, And at the end of your 6th cable, you're going to make 1 single crochet in the single crochet from the previous round, leaving the second one to be. Chain 1, and you are done with your first row for your back. Actually, we're working on the back of your work right now, and you are going to turn your work around. We are no longer working in the round. That is your row 47, and your row 47, because it is an odd number, is going to be a row of single crochet all along, but only working on 6 cables and beginning with 1 single crochet instead of 2 single crochets, and ending with 1 single crochet instead of 2 single crochets as well. At the end of row 47, make your last single crochet where you had put the stitch marker, and then chain 1 and turn your work around. And for row 48, begin by making 1 single crochet and then make your cables. And in this case, you're going to skip the first 2 posts and make a front post treble crochet right there in the 3rd post from the previous rounds, creating your cable as usual, but working on 6 cables only, back and forth, back and forth. Don't forget, you're ending with only 1 single crochet before you chain 1 and turn your work around. And this is a row 49, a row of single crochet. Alright, so for row 50 to 59, you're going to continue in pattern, in cable pattern, creating your back. And then we are going at a row 59, we're going to create your collar opening. So since until now you have been working on 6 cables, and for now for a few rows, so until 59 to row 64, you are going to only work on 2 cables, back and forth, back and forth. Let me show you how. So for row 60, you are going to work on a single crochet, and then you are going to make a braid. Two single crochet in the middle and another braid. So you're going to work on 2 braids. Once you are done working on those 2 first braids from your row, you're going to end by making 1 single crochet in the single crochet from the previous row, chain 1 and turn your work around. So you're only working now on 2 braids, and you are at row 61. And for row 61, just make 1 row of single crochet all along. And this is what is going to be your color right there. So for row 62, you're going to work again your cables only on those 2 cables, but at the end of your row 62, you're going to decrease at the end. So you're going to slip stitch in that last single crochet instead of making a single crochet. Just slip stitch. Sorry about the blurriness. Chain 1, turn your work around. So you're decreasing on your color side. And for row 63, pick up a single crochet on top of all the single crochets you had made. Continue like that for 2 more rows, and at the end of row 65, you are going to fasten off. So this is what the color in your back will look like. You ended up your work with a single crochet row which will make it easier to assemble the shoulders together when needed to. And for the other side of your collar and your other side of your shoulder, you're going to skip a single crochet, a cable, 2 single crochet, a cable and a single crochet. So 2 cables and a single crochet on each side. And you're going to join with your crochet hook and your yarn in that second single crochet. So skip 2 cables and a single crochet and joined in the next single crochet. You will have a single crochet and 2 cables and a single crochet left. And that is what you're going to be working on. Repeating row 60 to 65 on the other side of your work. Just making sure that when you decrease that 1 single crochet, you do it on the collar side and not on the armhole side. And when you reach the end of your row 65, you fasten off and you are done with your back and your shoulders. And now we are going to work on the front of your sweater. All right, and this is what your work will look like. You see that's the back, that's the armhole opening. And now for the front, what you're going to do is skip from the back side to the front, a single crochet, a cable and a single crochet, and put a stitch marker right there. And you're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. From the other side of your back, skip 1 single crochet, a cable and a single crochet, and put a stitch marker in the next single crochet. In between those 2 stitch markers is where you are going to work for your front part of your sweater. So take your crochet hook and join right there in the stitch you had put your stitch marker in. And now you're working in the front part of your sweater, and you have 7 cables to work on as opposed to the back where you had 6, but that's okay because we want more room in the front of our sweater for our breasts. So you have 7 cable stitch that you're going to work on back and forth in rows, the same way we had done for our back, creating the armhole opening and the front part of your sweater. So for row 46 and 47, you're continuing in pattern, working on your 7 cables back and forth. So 1 row of cable, 1 row of single crochet all along. And when you reach your row 48, we will actually decrease in between the cables. So you remember you had 2 single crochets in between the cable. You are going to decrease and turn those 2 single crochets into 1, and I will show you exactly how to do that. So you will still have 1 single crochet at the beginning and at the end of your cable row, but in between your cables, after your decrease, you will only have 1 single crochet, and it's tapering the upper part of the front of your sweater to fit the back that is narrower. So here we are at row 48, and you're going to begin by making a single crochet and making your cable, and we are going to decrease. So you're done with your cable, and you're going to turn those 2 single crochets into 1 by passing your crochet hook through the first stitch, yarn over and right back through the stitch. You have 2 loops on your crochet hook, and then do the same thing in the next stitch. Pass your crochet hook, yarn over and back. You have 3 loops on your crochet hook, and you are going to yarn over through all the 3 loops on your crochet hook, and just like that you decreased, you just turned those 2 single crochets into 1. And you are going to repeat that in between each and every cable. You have 7 cables. In between each of them, decrease, and I will meet you at the end of your row 48. And you are going to continue in pattern from row 49 to row 57, and I will meet you at the end of your row 57, where we will begin to make the front collar opening. And remember, you only have 1 single crochet now in between your cables. For row 58, you're going to begin your row as normal, 1 single crochet, and you're going to make a cable, a single crochet, and another cable. So we are going to begin to make our collar at a lower row, so it will make the collar opening bigger in the front than in the back. So for row 59, you will chain 1 and turn your work around and work on those 2 cables with a single crochet at the beginning of your row and at your back of your row for your row 59. Single crochet all along. And then from row 60 to 65, you are going to continue to crochet in pattern, 1 row cable, 1 row single crochet. And when you reach row 65, this is what your work will look like. You will end with a single crochet row, and then you will fasten off and you are done with your right shoulder. And you are going to repeat rows 48 to 65 on the other side of your work. So you are going to skip the 3 middle cables after the right shoulder you just had created, 1, 2, 3 right there, and then you are going to join your crochet hook in the stitch right before the 4th cable right there. Join with your yarn and you are going to repeat working on those 2 cables back and forth until you reach your row 65. So at the end of your second front shoulder, do not fasten off, and you just created those 2 shoulders and your front collar opening. Almost there, guys. And now time to assemble your shoulders together. Put your work with the wrong side facing you and place those 2 shoulders side by side, and you're going to slip stitch, stitch to stitch, 1 shoulder to the next. And the way you assemble by slip stitching is passing your crochet hook to one side of the stitch and then to the other side of the stitch, yarning over and right back through both of the stitches. And you're going to do that for all along the shoulder, stitch to stitch, matching them one by one. And when you reach the end of those 2 cables, the last single crochet after the second cable, you are going to fasten off and repeat on the other shoulder. Assembling both of the shoulders like that just creates the opening for your sleeves. It's right there. That's the way it will look. And now we are going to begin to create the sleeves. Put your work right side facing you. So turn it back from the wrong side facing you to the right side facing you, and this is your sleeve opening, and we are going to join your yarn at the bottom of the opening right there. So take your crochet hook and your yarn and pass it through that stitch. So try to find the middle bottom stitch of the opening at the bottom of your sleeve. We will be crocheting in the round again, and join it with your crochet hook and your yarn, chain 1 and make a single crochet in that stitch you just join your yarn with, and then proceed by making single crochets as they present themselves to you, picking up single crochets from the bottom of your sleeve opening, and that is your round 1 of your sleeve. Alright, so you picked up single crochets at the bottom of your sleeve opening. Now you are going to be picking up single crochets from the side of your armhole opening, and you're going to try to pick up crochets along as it presents itself to you. The most important part when you pick up single crochets from the side of your work, and especially from the side of your sleeve, is that you have the same amount of single crochet picked on one side of your sleeve, so going from the bottom to the shoulder seam, and then going from the shoulder seam to the other side, going down, picking up single crochets and having the same number on one side and then on the other side, making your sleeve symmetrical. So here I am picking up my single crochets until I reach my shoulder seam. Count the number of stitches you have until the shoulder seam, and then pick up the same amount of stitches on the other side, going down until you meet that first single crochet you had made when you joined your yarn. And you are done with your first round of your sleeve. Slip stitch with the first crochet, single crochet you had made, chain 1, and for your second round of your sleeve, You can put the stitch marker at the beginning of your round so you know where it begins and it ends. You are going to make one decrease round, and what you're going to do is you're going to make one single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Here you go. So you made 4 single crochets. Then you're going to decrease, turning the 2 next stitches into 1. The same way I had shown you how to decrease. And then you're going to make 4 single crochets again. And then you're going to decrease, turning the 2 next stitches into 1. And you are going to do that all around your second round. I will meet you at the end of your second round. Okay, so this is what your work will look like, but I wanted to add a little extra touch on my sleeve. I wanted to put one cable at the top of my sleeve going all along because I thought it was really cute. And that is what we're going to do, and I will show you how to do it super easy. Alright, so once you are done with your second round, you're going to fold your sleeve in half, your work in half, with the seam on top, and you're going to find that seam, and you are going to count from that seam, from the middle right there, 3 stitches to the right, and in that last stitch put a stitch marker, and then 3 stitches from the left, so you have 6 stitches marked in total, and those will be the stitches you will use to make your cable. And for the third round, you're going to single crochet your way until you reach the stitch marker. And when you reach the stitch marker, you can take it off. And you're going to make 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. You can take the last stitch marker there, you won't need it anymore. And those 6 double crochets will be the base for your cable. And if you did it correctly, 3 stitches will be on one side of the seam and 3 stitches will be on the other side of the seam. Okay, so that's your third round, and for the rest of your round you're going to single crochet until you meet your stitch mark at the end of your round. And that is for your third round. And then you get it from the 4th round until the end of your sleeve. You're going to single crochet all around, and then when you reach your 6 double crochets, you're going to begin to do the cable pattern the same way we had done it all along your sweater. I did 64 rounds for my sleeve, but everybody has different length of arms. We come in different shapes and sizes, and that is what makes the world a better place. And for all those other sizes, bigger and smaller, I always put the written pattern of my tutorials on my blog. I will put the information and the address of my blog where you can find all the written patterns of my tutorials in the info box down below. And this is what your work will look like. Isn't it amazing? With that little cable going along the top of your sleeve. I absolutely love it. And to finish your sleeve, you're going to do your last stitch at the end of your last round of your sleeve. And to create that beautiful little edge, what you're going to do is turn your sleeve around and work on the wrong side of your sleeve. And what you're going to do is 1 round of single crochet, making your single crochets with the wrong side of your work facing you. And that creates a little tiny, very discreet, beautiful finishing touch of an edge that I really like. And once you're done with your finishing touch edge, you will slip stitch with the first stitch and you will fasten off. You will sew in all the loose tails, repeat that sleeve on the other side of your work, and now what is left for us to do is the finishing touch, which is the color border, the color edge. Alright, so right now this is what your color looks like. This is the back side and the front side. So you're going to have the back of your work facing you, and on that left side of your collar you're going to join with your yarn and your crochet hook, chain one, and make a single crochet in that same stitch you just joined your yarn in. And what you're going to do is just simply picking up stitches all along the back of your collar and the front of your collar, picking them up as they come. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that you want to have the same amount of stitches on the front side of your collar. When you come down from that little shoulder seam, count the amount of stitches you pick up from the shoulder seam to the bottom side of your front collar, from here to there. Then you will have to pick up the stitches as they come in the front, which is really easy, and then pick up the same amount of stitches on the other side of the collar, and that's all you have to do. And you're going to be crocheting in the round, and you're going to make as many rounds you want for the collar, depending on how you want your collar to be. I made 4 rounds of single crochet for my collar, and then I fastened off and I was done with my collar. You can make it shorter, you can make it longer. If you keep going and going and going and going, you will have a turtleneck. That is as easy as it is. And that is it. We are done, my friends. What do you think? Do you like this cable stitch sweater? It is a perfect sweater for cold weather. It is super snuggly, super comfortable, super stylish, I think. And yes, so I think that concludes the cable stitch series of my tutorials. We had the cable stitch pillowcase, the cable stitch cardigan, and the cable stitch sweater. I think I'm ready to create something else now. I think I had enough of cable for a little while. And yes, so I am looking for more tutorials. I cannot wait to see what is in store next. I love you, happy crochet, and see you next time. Bye! Why? Ah, I have something in my eye. No! I don't like it. I don't like it. No. Be notified. Notified. Magical fairy dust, fairy dust, fairy dust. Namaste. What else can I tell you? Oh my God, I am so sad. The Star Trek Discovery season is over. Oh, I love Star Trek so much. I'm such a Trekkie, which is really funny because I never saw the original one. I began to watch the series from Star Trek Next Generation, I think. It's the one with Jean-Luc Picard. Oh, I used to love Jean-Luc Picard. Anyway, it was an amazing season if you are a Star Trek fan. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Yeah, I'm so excited for the season, the second season. If you watched the last episode of the first season and you know what they saw at the end, OMG, cannot wait. Nerd and proud of it. What? Happened in slow motion, etc. Motion? Mais Anne, quoi? Qu'est-ce qui se passe là? Slow motion. So if you... Oh, I'm choking.